So this is the beginner class, and this is the third video, and today we're going to talk about the attractor points. So attractor is an object that affects your original object by its scale or distance from your object, and your surface or whatever geometry you have should be affected by it in some logic. For example, I have these circles and I have this point here, and if I change the location of this point, as you can see, the circle's orientation moves toward this point. So I'm going to show you how can you create this kind of relationship. So let's start new. So first we are going to begin by creating a grid, and to create a grid simply you can go to vector and then go to grid, and then you can choose whatever grid you want. We're going to start with the hexagonal grid, so that's a hexagonal grid, and then let's give it a size. It asks for a plane. The plane is the original plane, we don't have to change it. The size, let's say 0.5, and then let's give it an extended y and x. Let's give it 10 by 10. If you wanna connect two lines from one number slider or from one component, you can hold shift key, and when you start grabbing, it shows you the plus sign, plus green sign. That means you can connect more than one output to this input. And also it's worth mentioning, if you want to disconnect one of these lines, you can hold the control key. I'm going to show you red. Here you can disconnect these lines as it shows here, and also there's another way to disconnect, is by right click, go to disconnect, and disconnect this number. Anyway, so after we created this grid, now we want to create a point. So for us to create a point, we can grab a point from here, and let's right click, set one point. Let's put a point here on the canvas. Now we have this point. Now what we want to do is we want this grid to be affected by this point here. So how do we do that? We need to create let's create circles around these points. So if we create points here, these are the center points of this grid. So we want to draw circles around these points here. How do we create circle? Very simple. You just type in circle. You have a lot of types of circles. You will choose this type here, the circle CNR. If you hold the Control Alt key and then click, it's going to show you where the circle is. Alright, so we want to create a circle from the centers, and then the normals, we want the normals to be affected by the by our original point. How do we connect these normals to this point here? Is by using a vector. The first point is this point here, and the second vector is our original point. Now we create this vector. Now let's connect this vector to the normals. So as you can see, we can see something affected. Let's hide our grid, we don't want to see it. Let's hide these points. Now the radius is too big, so let's make the radius 0.5 is okay. Now we have this radius, or let's give it a different radius. That's okay. Now both of them are connected, so if we move the grid size, the radius also gets affected by it. Next, let's offset a little bit smaller. Let's offset these curves. Let's offset them in. Now the offset is 1. Let's give it a minus. Let's say 0 to -1. Let's connect it to the distance. Alright, it works. Let's hide these circles here. Now we can see these circles getting affected by the point. If we move the point, we can see the orientation of these circles changing. And what if we move it in the Z direction? So the direction between the points and these surfaces is changing. So let's change these circles into surface. How do we do that? There are many ways. Let's go. If you go to surface, there is this boundary surface. You can connect these curves to the boundary surface, and it's gonna convert all of your circles into surface. It's better to view it this way. Let's hide these. Let's move our point and see how it gets affected. Now the direction of these circles are affected by this point. So that's one iteration. Let's do it in a different way, or maybe we stick to this one here. Alright, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys like the attractor points. I will be doing more videos about the attractor points later on. Alright, see you guys later.